Hello everyone, it's Karen from The Roving Reader. So I want to talk about money. I didn't even plan to come and talk to you in between like the end of Vlogmas and January 1st. But I have been thinking about some things that I kind of want feedback on and just want to start this dialogue. So let me know in the comments what you're thinking. But basically, I guess there's a whole bunch of things that kind of went into this discussion that I have been thinking about having with you guys. And it's a lot of different YouTubers that have been talking about just owning less stuff, spending less money. I will put links to lots of people below who kind of are on this path. But the thing that really started this, I feel like, it was looking at pictures from Christmas Day, Christmas Eve on Instagram and on Facebook. And I really noticed that I could group the pictures into 3 types of categories. And before I go over those, I just want to let you know, this is not judgment at all. Like, we're going to get to my thoughts about them, but I'm just telling you what I observed. So generalizations that might not be true at all, but are what I seem to have noticed. And I'm sure that if you did a more thoughtful meta-analysis sort of a thing, I mean, it's not a meta, but if you looked at a bigger data set, you might come to a different conclusion. But basically, I was looking at some people's Christmas trees and they had so many gifts. Like, there was just like mountains around the Christmas tree. And the people that put those pictures up on social media actually tended to be lower income individuals. And I know that previously I worked in a district where it was not uncommon for thousands and thousands of dollars to go into Christmas. And that was one of the lowest income places I have ever worked. And that was just unusual to me because you don't have a lot of income to spend, and yet you have the most out of anybody under your Christmas tree. And then I was kind of looking at the middle class people, and they tended to sometimes have pictures of the Christmas tree, but it didn't really have like a ton under it. It was just kind of like regular. And a lot of their pictures were not even about the Christmas tree. It was just more of like a background or something. So the focus was not on Santa coming and the presents and stuff like that. But if it was, there wasn't really a lot under the trees. There's enough, but not a ton. And then I am friends with a few people who are capital R rich. Like, I'm not talking upper middle class. I'm not talking luxury homes. I am talking about homes featured on Great Vacation Homes, which used to be on the Travel Channel. I'm talking about capital R rich. And I would have to go back and look, but honestly, like, I didn't see any pictures of their Christmas trees. What I saw from them was family time, pictures of family being together and spending time together. And so it was kind of like either from lower income people, like mountains of gifts under their Christmas tree, and from higher income people, more focused on food, family, traditions, that sort of thing. And then middle class, just kind of in the middle, but the focus was not on the gifts at all for middle class. And like, you can read so many judgments into that, right? Which kind of has been done before. When there's this picture that I was thinking of, it was a photograph, and it was of Michelle Obama working in a soup kitchen, and there is a guest of the soup kitchen holding up a phone and taking a selfie, or actually I think it was just a picture of Michelle, like not a selfie. But there was so much backlash about this photo that like, oh, they can afford a smartphone, but they can't afford to buy their own food. Again, kind of connecting to this Christmas tree thing. And then there was a list put out by Dave Ramsey, who is problematic just as a human being. But he put out a list of the 20 things that rich people do every day or something like that. It has since actually been taken down, and I'm looking at all these notes that I made just of my thoughts. It has since been taken down and has been replaced by the 5 simple habits of the average millionaire. So let me just quickly read you the list, even though it's problematic. Number 1, they're avid readers. Number 2, they understand delayed gratification. Number 3, they stay away from debt. Number 4, they budget. And number 5, they give. And again, for my last kind of piece of evidence, I guess, before I wrap this all up, I recently read the book Thick by Tracy McMillan Codum. And there was a quote in there that really stuck out to me. And it basically says, you have no idea what you would do if you were poor until you are poor. And I have never been capital P poor, but I think that basically from the time I got my first teaching job until Christmas Eve, I have been living the life of a middle-class person without actually having any money. Like, it has been so scary. Like, if people actually knew what my bank account was like at any given moment, or about some of the concerns that I had and some of the things that I was worrying about, even though I had a professional job, I think that they would either judge me because I do have a professional job and I should have more money than I did, or they would feel very sorry for me because there's probably, it was bad. It was bad. And so I guess what I'm just thinking about all these things is that there's this judgment from people that have on people that don't have, and it comes from just this place of privilege and not being able to have empathy for other people. So, like, for example, just to go through the 5 simple habits of the average millionaire, they're avid readers. You guys know how many jobs I have. I don't work as much during the school year because my teaching job is my focus. But there were days when I didn't even get enough sleep at night, and was working so much. So how are people supposed to read? I mean, for me, it's a priority. And also you have to understand too, I didn't come from generational poverty. I just was struggling for a bit, which is not the same as lowercase p poor, capital P poor, generational poverty, nothing. It was just a lot of years of struggle. How do you read if you don't even have enough time to sleep, right? And then how do you have books if you can't afford them, if you don't have time to go to the library when they're actually open, which was a problem this summer because I was working so much. If you don't have gas money, which was not a problem for me, but if you don't have gas money to get to a library, blah, 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 let alone if you have children you have to take care of, right? So just saying, being an avid reader is, something we should strive towards, really is the position of privilege. They understand delayed gratification. You can't be like, sorry, I'll go to the grocery store tomorrow. I got this. There is not the opportunity to have delayed gratification if you're poor. They stay away from debt. A lot of times I went into debt because I had to pay for stuff that was not just frivolous, but that was essential. They budget. Okay. Again, yes, budgeting, but sometimes you don't have enough coming in to be able to budget, or you have unexpected things that you don't have an emergency account for. So when an unexpected thing happens, it just destroys you, and you can't get an emergency fund if all these emergencies keep happening to you, so you can never build one, and blah, 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 right? And they give. Well, you can't give when you can't take care of yourself. And so just thinking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I just think that there's so much privilege that goes into all these judgments about people's gifts under the tree or about the shaming people that have smartphones or all sorts of other things. And I think that while I've always been aware of this, it definitely hit me on Christmas when, like, I'm getting really personal here, but I got a significant gift that allowed me to get out of debt. Mostly. I still have a car payment and my student loan, but minimal, right? To the point where I paid it off and I still have some extra money in the bank. And for the first time, I have an emergency fund. And my goal for this next year is to get 1 year's worth of savings in there because I'm a single person and I do need to protect myself in case anything happens to me. But yeah, it was a very, very, very nice gift. I am so grateful for it. I started crying, but at the same time, it's very minimal to what most people think you should have lying around. Like, it just is allowing me to suddenly feel freedom and choice and all these things. So I guess going into more of my personal situation, there was a lot of times when I would, like, I'm using the word hoard loosely because I don't really mean hoard in the traditional sense of the word, but I would kind of stockpile books in case something happened. Like, I needed to soothe myself also with the books. Like, when you have so much stress about money, about health, about, all sorts of things, work, you're working too much. Books were a way that I comforted myself to kind of give myself a little bit of joy during my day. And also food. I would have way too much food in my apartment because I was always worried. Like, I guess I shouldn't have been worried about food because I know there's tons of people that would totally support me if I needed something. But I just bought way too much food in an attempt to, like, take care of myself and make sure that I was good if anything happened. Because my income was, because I wasn't able to have a lot of disposable income, I just felt this need to have lots so that I felt more secure. And I think that that's part of the Christmas tree, having so much stuff. It's also like the one opportunity that you're allowed to have joy during the year, because the rest of the year, you can't just be giving your kids all sorts of stuff. So anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is that with this little bit of extra money, it allows me this sense of freedom to live my life, to think about, what do I want my life to look like? With my salary, without owing money to people, now I have extra income where I can choose where it goes. Do I want to donate it? Do I want to save it? Do I want to, where do I want it to go? And it's so fun to actually build a budget and play with it when you have stuff to play with. I'm curious now how this is going to impact my health, because I have some health stuff going on, how it's going to impact my weight, because I think that there's this mental need to hang on to stuff, but also physically, buying too much food, eating too much food, whatever. So I'm just curious how this is all going to flow into lots of different areas of my life. And with that being said, this is the big announcement. 13 minutes in, sorry for all the craziness. I have decided to do a no-buy year. I know there is one person, Chinzia, who inspired me to do a no-buy year. And I think her income, she claims it's kind of on the lower end. I don't know her situation, and it's all relative anyway. But I think that you have to have the privilege to have a no-buy year, because you can't have a no-buy year if you don't have that security that you're going to be okay if you choose not to buy things. You have a choice. So basically, the purpose of a no-buy year is not that you will not buy anything, although it sounds like that when you say no-buy year. It's basically each person that chooses to do it just really thinking about what priorities they have, what they feel they spend too much money on, what is holding them back as far as consumerism. And it's also just trying to have break you free from the toxic culture of consumerism while also trying to like improve your finances, improve the environment, blah, blah, blah. So I want to do it for all those reasons. I think my main reason, well, okay, it's two. Okay, it's all three. Oh, I want to help the environment. Obviously, things are not going well. Consumerism, I feel like a lot of my time is spent like unboxing things and organizing things and decluttering and moving piles of stuff to other places. And but I think the main thing is that I do want to feel secure financially, and that would include me saving up an entire year's worth of an emergency fund so that if anything happened, I would have more freedom because I would have an entire year saved up. Or maybe it would even give me the opportunity to choose to do something crazy because I have money to take care of myself if it doesn't work out, you know, whatever. I'm going to make a video later if you guys are interested on exactly what a no-buy year means for me and specifically what my rules are going to be. I want a few more days to think about it, which is why I'm not saying that now. But to summarize, I think that I'm really, really, really grateful for basically this Christmas gift that has allowed me to like completely change my life. And I'm really taking that seriously and trying to figure out what kind of a person I want to be moving forward and how I want to handle money and manage it and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, like what do I want to do? Who do I want to be? Like, I just feel like it's so stupid that a gift gave me that much freedom and that much like empowerment, but it did. And I'm so, so grateful. Most of you are super good friends of mine, and I'm just curious what your thoughts are about this as far as consumerism, money, freedom, financial freedom, Dave Ramsey. Like, I don't know. Any of your thoughts about money, or about if you have ever tried a no-buy year, or what your thoughts are about anything regarding this. This was kind of just like, bleh, but I wanted to get it out there and talk to you guys and just hear what you wanted to say. So anyway, that is that. Prepare for a video with my official plan for the year, probably like 2nd or so in January, because January 1st, getting ready for a readathon. Anyway, all right, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you for listening to my rant and ramble, and I love you guys. Bye.